Hello everybody and welcome back to One Nerd to Rule Them All. Today we're diving into the twisted cinematic history behind one of gaming's most iconic horror universes. This is not just a timeline of an outbreak, it's the story of how humanity kept trying to perfect evolution, and how every attempt created something more unstable than the last. Today we're going to trace the entire lineage of a bioorganic weapon, from the ancient origins of the Progenitor Virus all the way to the terrifying implications of the mold and the megamycete in the Resident Evil universe. We'll explore the science, the motivations behind the experiments, the key incidents that shaped the world, and how each new discovery was built on the failures of the last. So let's start at the root of the problem, long before corporations, long before even Raccoon City, with a discovery that would quietly reshape human history. So let's get into the video. Let's begin with the Progenitor, the virus of gods. The Progenitor Virus wasn't discovered in a laboratory, it was found in nature, hidden within a rare West African flower known as the Stairway to the Sun. Ancient civilizations that encountered it believed it granted divine power, but the reality was far more brutal. Progenitor acted like an evolutionary filter. Most hosts died rapidly, their bodies unable to handle the extreme cellular rewriting. But the rare survivors exhibited heightened intelligence, strength, and adaptability. This selective survival fascinated certain aristocratic visionaries who believed humanity was stagnant. To them, Progenitor wasn't a pathogen, it was a tool to create a superior species. However, Progenitor had two major limitations. One, it was wildly unstable, and two, survivability rates were extremely low. So, researchers began altering it, attempting to create a strain that could be controlled, replicated, and weaponized. That ambition would lead directly to the birth of modern bioweapons. Now we look at the T-Virus, commercialized horror. The T-Virus was humanity's first successful attempt to turn evolution into a product. By combining Progenitor with various genetic materials, most famously leech DNA, scientists created a strain that dramatically accelerated cell regeneration. But rapid regeneration without neurological stability led to a catastrophic side effect: tissue necrosis, reduced higher brain function, and extreme aggression. This is why most affected became zombies, not because the virus was meant to create them, but because the human brain couldn't keep up with the cellular chaos. The birth of the BWO industry. Where the T-Virus truly changed the world was in its military application. Researchers realized that with the right genetic compatibility, most hosts could retain enough intelligence to be weaponized. This led to the Tyrant program, an attempt to engineer controlled super soldiers. Tyrants represented a key shift. Bioweapons were no longer accidents, they were products with performance goals. Yet, despite its commercial promise, the T-Virus was ultimately unreliable. Outbreaks were unpredictable, containment was difficult, and global exposure risk was enormous. Scientists began researching for a strain that could push evolution further without decay. This turned into the G-Virus, the obsession with perfection. The G-Virus was less about profit and more about legacy. Its creator wanted a virus that could not just enhance life, but guarantee survival through constant adaptation. Unlike the T-Virus, which degraded the body, the G-Virus triggered runaway mutation, an organism rewriting itself to overcome any threat. This meant near limitless regeneration and strength, but also grotesque instability. The body never stopped evolving, often producing new eyes, limbs, and organs in a desperate attempt to optimize survival. Perhaps the most disturbing trait of the G-Virus was its method of propagation. Instead of spreading like a disease, it forced hosts to implant genetic material into others, creating new mutated offspring. This turned infection into something deeply personal and invasive, blurring the line between virus and organism. The G-Virus proved something crucial. Uncontrolled evolution wasn't viable as a weapon. So researchers began exploring a new idea. What if the host could be controlled instead of mutated beyond reason? That moves us on to Las Plagas, control over chaos. Las Plagas represented a philosophical turning point in bioweapon development. Instead of rewriting biology through infection, Plagas operated as parasites that integrated into the host's nervous system. This meant infected individuals could retain coordination and intelligence, follow commands, and operate in organized groups. For the first time, bioweapons could function as coherent military forces, rather than unpredictable monsters. Different strains allowed for specialized roles, from stealth infiltration to brute force combat. But why Plagas was so dangerous? Unlike viral outbreaks, which tend to spiral into chaos, Plagas infections could remain hidden. Hosts could appear normal, speak plainly, and exist. This made them ideal for covert bioterrorism, a terrifying escalation in how these weapons could be deployed globally. But even Plagas had weaknesses. They relied on physical implantation and could be disrupted if the controlling parasite was destroyed. So the next stage of research would move away from both virus and parasites and towards something that behaved more like a living ecosystem. This brings us on to the mold, the biology as a network. The mold is arguably the most unsettling evolution because it doesn't behave like a traditional pathogen at all. It operates as a fungal superorganism, capable of linking hosts into a shared biological network. This network can store memories, replicate human bodies, and reshape organic matter with precision. Instead of simply mutating hosts, the mold can reconstruct them, effectively blurring the boundary between life and limitation. This brings us on to the megamycete, a biological archive. At the heart of the mold is the megamycete, a massive organism that acts like a central nervous system for the infection. It preserves the consciousness and genetic data of hosts, meaning individuals can be recreated long after death. This introduces a chilling concept never seen before in the series: biological immortality through replication. The mold isn't just about making weapons, it represents the ability to rewrite identity itself. And that's got the escalation of human ambition. Looking at the progression as a whole, you can see a clear pattern of escalating goals. First, scientists wanted to unlock evolution. Then they wanted to weaponize it, then control it, and then perfect it, and finally, transcend it. Each stage tried to fix the flaws of the previous one. Instability led to control mechanisms, loss of intelligence led to parasitic integration, and physical limits led to networked biology. But every advancement came with a greater ethical collapse. The technology improved, yes, but the consequences grew exponentially worse. Now, what does evolution mean for the future? If this trajectory continues, the future of bioweapons in this universe isn't just stronger monsters. It is a world where identity, memory, and even death itself can be manipulated biologically. The mold suggests a future where outbreaks couldn't just destroy cities, they could replace populations entirely. And that raises the ultimate question: at what point does evolution stop being human? That brings us to the end of today's video. That is the full expanded journey of the bioweapon evolution, from an ancient virus hidden in a flower to the global network collapse that has rewritten life itself. What makes this history so compelling isn't just the monsters, it's the pattern of human ambition behind them. Every breakthrough was driven by the belief that the next version would finally be controllable, and every time the belief was proven wrong. If you enjoyed this dive into the Resident Evil universe, I know I did, I absolutely adore Resident Evil, then please let me know what other universes you want me to explore. Down in the description you'll find a link to my other channel, where if you enjoy my Warhammer videos, you'll love it over there, because we build, paint and battle our Warhammer armies against each other. We also do quick tutorials on YouTube Shorts, and we stream. So if that's your cup of tea, then please feel free to have a look at that. Anyway, that'll be it from me today. Have a wonderful day, or night, wherever you are in the world. And as always, bye for now, guys.